Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mahua. So today I thought I'd do something different. Let's get ready together. We'll answer some questions. We'll do a chit chat. I've never really done this on my channel. I also really love Monet on TikTok, on Instagram, and on social media. And I love her style of talking and the way that she just like talks to the camera as if we're on FaceTime. So we're literally just going to talk, get ready together like we're on FaceTime. It's about time that you guys get to know me a little bit more. I do a lot of vlogs, New York City content, but it's like, you know, I want to do things like this more often as well. On top of that, I'm fasting, so I don't really feel like going outside, doing a whole solo date, spring activity outside right now. I just want to stay at home. So we're literally getting ready together to do nothing at home. Also, I live in New York, so I don't really have the space for a vanity. So the setup that I have right now to do my makeup is crazy. Like, you really have to DIY it when you're living in New York. I asked on my story on Instagram what I should talk about, if people want any advice on anything, if people want me to talk about anything, and you guys can follow me on Instagram. It's labyrinthav on Instagram and TikTok, and a lot of you guys had different questions on different things. So let's get into it, okay? All right, so the first thing I'm using is the Glow Screen Super Goop sunscreen. I never used to wear sunscreen back in the day, but this really acts as a primer for me, and it makes me feel so glowy. Not only does it protect my skin, like I remember back in the day I used to never wear sunscreen because it was like, oh, I don't care if I get darker. It was kind of like a rebellion thing to the colorism in my culture. Now I'm like, it's not even about getting darker, it's about just protecting your skin. So now I've gotten all my loved ones and all my family members onto Super Goop sunscreen, and this also makes such a difference when you do your makeup. Before, I used to like not wear moisturizer, I used to not wear sunscreen, I used to just put heavy foundation on, and then I'd get confused as to why my makeup looked disgusting. Also, I don't know what it is, but I feel like March is a season where everyone is just burnt out. I remember last year when I was doing student teaching, I was so burnt out because that's around the time when teachers are just working through the year. They're trying to get to the end of the school year, and March is a month where you have no breaks or holidays, so you don't have off. And also for the normal person, I feel like March is like 3 months into the year. You're always trying to get closer to your goals and accomplish your New Year's resolution. So it's like the time for burnout for a lot of people. So I bit off all of my nails from just burnout anxiety, and I have such a bad habit of biting off my nails, and I'm trying my best to stop. So let me know if you guys have any remedies to stop nail biting. Also, this is the Rare Beauty concealer in shade 430W. I don't use foundation as much anymore, and this feels so much better on my skin. All right, so let's get started with the questions. A lot of you guys send pretty juicy questions on my Instagram. I love that I give off big sister vibes. So before I start, I'm using the Kulfi Beauty concealer in shade Mango Drop to conceal and highlight. So someone asked how to deal with failure, especially when you constantly want to please your parent. I made a recent video about this on how to be selfish without feeling guilty, because people pleasing is the epidemic of our century and of our lives. Because I feel like when you constantly try to please other people, especially your parents, they get so used to it that you just constantly feel like you have to get good grades and just do really well and succeed heavily for them to appreciate you and for them to congratulate you. And I realized a long time ago that once I stop pleasing other people and I just do things for myself, life is so much better. And I get when you're in that moment and you're constantly getting let down because your parents don't think you're enough or other people don't think you're enough even though you're trying your hardest. It's so hard to get out of that mindset because you're always just around that negativity. But you have to first of all be okay with disappointing them and also start doing things for yourself. In high school, I wasn't doing that well in school. I didn't really have the best grades. I used to always get compared to other people, and I always just felt like a disappointment. And I used that disappointment that other people had for me and the disappointment I had for myself to fuel my motivation and to actually start trying harder, not for them, but for myself. And eventually, that motivation for myself started turning into proving what other people thought of me wrong. But the initial reason why I started succeeding and not caring what other people thought was because I was in that phase of disappointment where I felt like I couldn't prove anyone wrong. And then I started doing things for myself, and I wanted to just succeed and do well in school to prove my own idea of myself wrong. You also have to get to a point where you realize that failure is inevitable and you have to use that failure to your advantage. Most of the time, failure is a redirection and it gets you to where you actually need to be. I've failed so many times in my life, and I'm happy because that made me so much thicker. It made me have so much thicker skin, and it has prepared me for the worst. So honestly, welcome failure into your life with open arms. Accept that it's going to happen. Know that there's something better for you out there, but don't let failure let you be down forever. You can be down for a few days, a few weeks, but don't let it stop you. Use it as fuel to do better and do more. Y'all, also the Kulfi Beauty blush hits so hard, especially on my skin tone. Like, I don't even care if I pack it on too much. All right, so someone asked how to take the first step in content creation. It feels so overwhelming at times. Tell me about it. So I honestly didn't start content creation until like 2021-ish. I started my YouTube in 2020. I started actually content creating pretty recently. And here are some of the tips that I have. The hardest part is just getting started. I remember wanting to start content creation. I wanted to start YouTube for so many years and I just never started because I had imposter syndrome. I thought that I wouldn't make it and I thought that my videos weren't good enough. I thought there were other people around me that were doing better. There was also no representation, so I was like, all right, let's just let the white creators do what they're doing and let them succeed. What am I going to bring to the table? And oftentimes it's just us getting in our own heads and that stops us from living our life. But honestly, the hardest part is just getting started. So even if it's not perfect, don't let that stop you from doing what you want to do. It's not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to look back at your old content and cringe. But if you wait around forever to make the perfect thing, it's never going to happen because honestly, we are our biggest critics and things will never be as perfect as we want it to be. I look back at things that I made like 6 months ago and I cringe, and that's normal. Something else, if you are a POC, it's a lot harder to succeed and get started because again, things like this weren't really made for us, but you have to get over that imposter syndrome. And I think another big thing is that you have to make content that you actually like making. Don't think that you have to make content that other people will like but you don't really like genuinely making, because then if it does get bigger later on, you're just doing something that you don't genuinely like and it should be fun for you. I think everyone can do content creation. I think the biggest thing that you need to have is lighting, good quality videos, which can be done on any phone really. You don't need an aesthetic house, you don't need a lot of money. It's genuinely possible for everyone. Also, look how cute this little Laura Mercier powder is. Just use the Mango People Cosmetic Beauty Stick for my contour. I just started doing that recently and it has been a game changer. Putting concealer underneath where your contour is also a very big game changer. All right, so someone asked, how do I know when it's the right time to tell my parents I have a North Indian boyfriend and they're South Indian? So basically, how do I tell my parents that I have a boyfriend in a culture that doesn't really accept dating or interracial or interfaith relationships? Honestly speaking, there is never a good time. You know, it is never the right time to tell your parents that, but a lot of people overthink it and they just use that logic and get scared and they just never tell their parents and they end up breaking up with their partner because they just don't even want to try. Also, this is different for every single culture, every single parent, so don't think that what I'm saying right now is going to work for you. Talking for what I think would work. It is never the right time. I think the only time you can say something heinous like that where, you know, you're dating someone that they might not approve of is if you have a full-time job and you can fully take care of yourself, which is unfortunate, but it is kind of true. Your parents have to see that you're able to take care of yourself before you are dating someone or with someone that they may not approve of, because they want to see you as a mature person. And on top of that, your parents may not approve of it right when you tell them. They might be mad for a few weeks, a few months, and that's also unfortunate, but they will probably get over it. You know, don't let the fear of them being mad just stop you from actually telling them ever and just sneaking around. Since I bit off all my nails, it's gonna be so hard to open this. Oh, I got it. Obviously, you should have the right to choose whoever you want to be with, but for them, it is still a big shock, right? So you have to be empathetic about that and you have to be patient with that. You can't get mad at them for them reacting. It's normal for them to react in a way that might be a little bit irrational. Obviously, if it goes beyond a certain point, then it is just them being dumb. I think the biggest thing is that you have your own income that you can provide, and second, you are with someone that you actually see your life with, see forever with. Don't introduce someone to your parents that, you know, you have a toxic relationship with, you don't see you being with them forever, because then it's kind of a waste and you told them for nothing basically. I have hope that all parents usually do come around with their kids and they genuinely want to see their kids happy. I think all parents want their kids to be with someone that has good ethics, has a good job, takes care of their child, and if your partner has all of that, then it should be fine and they'll eventually come around. All right, let's take these out. Oh wow, it's crazy what a little 99-cent roller can do to your hair, but I kind of still want my hair back. That's better. So I recently got this new release of the Kulfi Beauty eyeshadow and it's pretty easy to use. All you do is just like rub it on your finger and put it on your eye, and I like that because it's not, you know, too high maintenance. So let's try it. Oh my god, it's so moist. I've never used that adjective to describe an eyeshadow. Y'all, life is so unfortunate. My camera died literally when I was almost done with my makeup, when I was almost done with the question. But the show must go on, so here I am another day. I put the same amount of makeup on that you saw in the last clip. I got another off-the-shoulder shirt on, but this one's a different one. Another pair of pajamas on. We're still going with the same vibe, but this time around, I actually have somewhere to be. So we're not just getting ready for funsies and staying at home this time around. Also, look how pretty Selena Gomez is. Alright, let me first do my eyeliner so we can proceed with the questions because I can't talk while I'm doing my eyeliner. This eyeliner is from e.l.f. It's only $3 and it's the only one that I use. It's so black and pigmented. Also, y'all, I'm very excited because I am going on another solo trip. As you guys know, I went to Paris for 3 weeks and then I went to London. I did 3 weeks in Paris by myself, and this next location I'm going to has also been on my Tumblr board since I was in high school. So comment down below where you think I'm going because it was also on my 2023 vision board. I'm so excited to go on a vacation. Like, this burnout really needs me to relax for a second. So someone asked how to cope with insecurities. My ex cheated 3 years, 3 times, and I'm still not over it. So I got a lot of questions about confidence and insecurities. I'm so sorry that that happened. Been there, done that. When someone cheats on you, especially a man, never take that personally because it is never a reflection of how you are and how you treated them for the most part. Shakira got cheated on. Beyonce got cheated on. The most perfect women in the world have gotten cheated on, unfortunately. And you can be the most beautiful, you can be the most intelligent, you can be the most giving, but still, some men will be how they are and it is not about you. And I know in that moment you take it personally because you feel like you've done something wrong, but that's just society conditioning us into thinking that we have to take accountability for how men treat us and that we did something wrong because of their bad behaviors. But that's not true. If a man cheats on you, take that as a sign to just leave. Don't give him more chances because usually if they do it once, they'll do it again. Take that time for yourself. I know there are a lot of girls and a lot of people in general that jump from relation to relationship because they can't handle being by themselves and they need someone to fill them up. But what you need to do in this situation is fill your own cup up. Realize what you like in another person. Realize what you like about yourself. Be okay with being independent. And this is usually the time when you are single and you're going through this breakup where you just realize so many things about yourself. You should lean on your girlfriends instead of trying to find another guy. And there's a lot of uncomfortableness with this, a lot of uncomfortability, because when you are feeling insecure, when you are feeling lonely, obviously you want someone to kind of help you out to get out of that. You kind of want to numb your feelings by focusing on someone else or focusing on something else more important. But at this point, you have to just feel the feelings, get over that uncomfortableness, and just be okay with being by yourself for a little bit. Because the more you don't respect yourself as much and the more you don't like being by yourself, the more people will think that they can walk all over you and that they can do this to you again. So take this as a sign to literally just be by yourself, work on yourself, have fun with your girlfriends, go thrifting by yourself, go to coffee shops by yourself, and you will learn so much that you wouldn't have learned in a relationship. I don't know if there's like crack in this mascara, but it always does this damn thing. This is a L'Oreal Paris Telescopic Mascara. I got this from Paris actually, so you know it's the real deal. And they always know what they're doing with their mascara. A few people asked me about being in long distance relationships and having tips on that, just because I am in one. I think my biggest tip, even if you're not in a long distance relationship, is to just keep trying and do the small things, because a lot of people just get used to their partners and they stop trying. They stop trying to be with them. So what me and my partner do is, like, we have Zoom dates sometimes. We have dates where we just read online, like read on Zoom or read on FaceTime. We'll have like nights where we set time for each other where we'll just like draw together, you know? We have this thing where we share a journal and we give it back and forth to each other when we see each other, and we just have like cute little notes and updates in it, you know? A lot of people fail at long distance relationships because they can't stand not physically being with one another. And yeah, that's a big part, but you also have to nurture the emotional part, you know? And you have to be really patient. You have to appreciate the little moments, to appreciate the big moments, and you have to just constantly, I just spit a lot, and you have to just constantly keep trying. Long distance is kind of fun sometimes because it's like you're forced to talk to one another since you're not like living together or you're not in the same like place together. You have more things to update them on, like at the end of the day. Also, it teaches you to be more independent because you are forced to do things by yourself without having your best friend with you all the time. And it just makes it more fun when you do see each other, you know? So I think it's always a phase for people. Obviously, you're not long distance forever for the rest of your lives. So I think you just have to appreciate the phase for a little bit, even though it sucks and it's really hard. And just you know, welcome the new phase in your life later on when they eventually do live in the same place or state as you. So someone asked how to get over friend breakups. That's a good one because especially when you're an adult, friend breakups happen often. Also, I don't know what's in this ColourPop lip liqueur, but it's also crap because lip liqueur, I've never tried it before, but it's not really lip gloss. It has that consistency. Like, it's still kind of sticky and glossy, but it's also very nourishing, you know? So I don't know what you did here, ColourPop, but you did something. This is in the shade Macadamia. Friend breakups are never easy. You know, sometimes you guys just fizzle out, the relationship isn't as close anymore. Sometimes a fight happens. Sometimes you say something because you just can't handle the disrespect or whatever it is anymore. And it's never easy regardless of which direction you go in. And you know, this is kind of similar with when you're trying to find confidence after a breakup and you got cheated on, because you're also very alone after a friend breakup and you might not have other friends. But at this point, this is the time for you to figure out what you want in a friendship. You know, all friendships are a trial and error. You have to figure out what you like in relationships, what you like in friendships, and you have to be uncomfortable in that loneliness. You can't go back to your old friends because for the most part, they probably won't change and they're going to be like that. So don't use that moment of loneliness and weakness to go back to them, but actually use that time to realize what you like in yourself, what you have to offer to other people, why you're so great to have as a friend, and try to go out there and find new friends. You know, social media is a great way to find new friends. I found a lot of people that are like me through that. I go on solo dates and I find people through, you know, going to a like-minded activity or experience that potential friends might also enjoy. I honestly feel like friend breakups are a lot harder than actual relationship breakups because you're always thinking about them and you're always thinking about the good memories. But honestly, most friendships have its own season. You know, they were great for one point in your life, but they probably don't serve you forever, and that's okay. You will find better and you will find friends that serve you more for your current self. And just because you have a friend breakup doesn't mean you don't root for them from the sidelines. You could still support them. You could still talk to them from time to time. You can still see what they're up to, but that doesn't mean you have to constantly hurt yourself by being close to them. I have faith that you will find your own people. That takes time, that takes a lot of uncomfortable feelings, but you will do it. I did it. A lot of people do it. It's all about just having self-restraint and confronting your feelings. Self-restraint so you don't go back to your old friends and you don't hit up toxic people. Also, look how cute this ColourPop palette is. This is their Valentine's Day palette. It is adorable. I literally screamed when I got on ColourPop's PR list because who would have ever thought a girl like me getting on their PR list is wild. Also, a lot of these questions that I got and a lot of these things that I talked about, we talk about in our podcast called Difficult-ish. So if you want like a 1-hour full-fledged episode dedicated to a lot of these questions, make sure to listen to that because my partner and I, we really just like put our heart and soul into it. And it is just a lot of fun when you guys resonate with the podcast. I must say, we are pretty funny on that. Like, from an outside perspective, I would listen to my own podcast, and I do. Currently, the podcast that I'm listening to, even though I'm kind of catching up this week, is the Drama Queens episode with James Lafferty. This is like the One Tree Hill podcast. I love One Tree Hill. So I just listened to a podcast where they recap all of the episodes and it's just like the fanatic in me. So that's what I'm listening to right now. I just finished listening to Anything Goes by Emma Chamberlain this morning. But yeah, this is the final look. I am very happy with it. It's very like pink, springy, very cute. But I hope you guys like this video. I really enjoyed filming it. I just love talking my shit. I just love giving advice and just talking while I'm doing my makeup. I do a lot of get ready with me's on my TikTok, so make sure to follow me on that. And on Instagram, it's at LabyrinthAv. But I hope you guys like this video. Please let me know in the comments if you guys like this type of style and if you want me to do more like this. I love when you guys, you know, see my personality a little bit more. And I hope the advice that I said was helpful. But thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to, well, I'm trying to get to 40,000 subscribers this year. And make sure to check out the podcast. It's Difficult-ish on all streaming platforms. And if you want, you can check out my website as well, where I sell a lot of my art and apparel. It's labyrinthav.com. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.